Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my therapy office. Once again, my name is Scott Carter. I am a licensed therapist. I'm a clinical mental health counselor. I specialize in working with teens and adolescents. I do a lot of family work. I do a lot of parenting work. I drag families and parents in here. Most parents do not leave unscathed. Usually drag parents in here when I can. It's not always possible or productive. But the parents and families that engage together are the families that see a lot of the biggest differences in a short amount of time. I'm recording this on the last day of July. School is starting in 3 weeks. Hard to believe. The summer has absolutely flown by. And where I come from, that's a little bit daunting. We have a huge problem with teen suicide. Frankly, the mental health and the behavior of teens deteriorates during the school year, which is normal. Kids always have problems at school. They always have problems with peers. But what I'm finding is that the way that parents are responding to problems and issues and approaching problems and issues, it needs work. Frankly, it needs work. And I really believe that if parents improve their approaches and their responses and their problem solving and the type of involvement that they have with their kids, it's going to make a huge difference on how kids cope with the issues at school. Anyways, with things a little bit slower for me in the summer, it gives me an opportunity to create a lot more content. It gives me a lot more ability to focus on kind of creating some of this type of content. Because once I get into my busy season, it's pretty impossible. It can be impossible. I'm just always behind on stuff. But lately, I've been doing more writing on Quora.com. Some people are familiar with Quora, Quora. You can follow me on there if you want. It's an interesting place because people ask questions and share ideas. Different professionals or different types of people weigh in on their ideas. And I've noticed that on the parenting questions and the parenting forum sections, man, one person will ask a question and just get bombarded. A lot of people are really opinionated when it comes to parenting, and they're really quick to condemn. They're really quick to judge. And I think it's hard for parents who are seeking good advice on a website like that to just wade through all the people are so fast to just jump in and what were you thinking? You're a horrible parent, blah, blah, blah. So anyone that takes the plunge and asks an open forum question on there, man, good luck. But I see this question all the time and I want to do a video on it because I feel like it's an important thing. The issue at hand is a reflection of a bigger issue. The question is, I see this, man, it comes up all the time. Should I look at my teenager's phone? Should I go through their stuff? With the supposed motivation being, I need to see if they're doing things or getting into things or involved in things that they shouldn't be involved in. So I'm going to make a lot of points here. I'm going to make a lot of arguments. The bottom line, I'm going to give you a quick answer, and then I'm going to explain why. The quick answer is no, you shouldn't. There are exceptions. I'll get to that. However, I'm going to make some arguments here. One, parents want to make sure that their kids are not getting into things that they don't want them to get into. Well, here's the thing. All kids do that. You did that. I did that. We as kids got into things that maybe we shouldn't have. And I mean, my parents didn't want me listening to certain types of music, and I did. I have very conservative parents, by the way, so they didn't want me listening to certain types of music. They didn't want me watching certain TV shows. I did. And that's what kids do. It turned out okay. I really turned out okay. So yes, your kids are going to get into things that you don't want them to get into. That's part of being kids. We did it, they did it, every generation of teenagers are going to do it. What's important is for us to have a good relationship with them so that they learn from their mistakes. But I'll tell you some things that I'm seeing are destroying the relationship between teenagers and parents, because here's what I need you to understand, and here's why I say no, you should not look at your kid's phone. You stand to lose far more than you gain. And for argument's sake, this is what parents do too. Let's say they look at their kid's phone and they see that, Junior's getting into things that I don't want him or her to do.
And so how do parents respond? You're in trouble now. I'm restricting things. You're grounded. I'm taking away your phone. I think I even saw something on Quora where like they destroyed the kid's device. Sometimes I wonder if these people are serious. I almost wonder if they're trolling, just because there are so many answers to, like, I punished my kid by destroying her iPad. Was that a good idea? And hundreds of, you horrible human being. It's really interesting to watch. But I'm going to make the argument that if you decide, I want to know what my kid is going into, and without their permission, I'm going to dive into their phone and go through their pictures and go through their text messages and go through their social media, etc., because I need to know what they're doing. You stand to lose far more than you gain. What do you gain? Okay. In column A, what do you gain? That you know what they're into. But if they find out that you've been in their stuff, and this isn't just true for phones, by the way, this could be like their personal journals. I know I ran into parents that once their kid has ran after school, they go through the room, they find their personal journal, they read it. You stand to lose trust. You stand to lose respect. And you stand to gain a sneakier kid. Now, I hear parents say, well, they shouldn't do that. Shame on them for becoming more sneaky. That's a wrong way to. Sometimes parents think that I'm condoning or encouraging kids to become more sneaky. I'm not. I'm just realistic. I just know psychology. I just know how kids work. I hate the word should, by the way. Should, shouldn't. Kids shouldn't get more sneaky. Well, I know that. But that doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the fact that they're going to. They will. If you go through their phone without their permission, they will lose respect for you. They will lose trust for you. They will distance themselves from you. And they'll become more sneaky. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want kids to get more sneaky with these things. They know these things way better than I do. They will smoke me. Absolutely. Like, I used to be good with technology, man. Not anymore. Like, I don't want a kid to like outsmart me with their phone. That's not a situation that I like. So kids will regard you as not trustworthy. They will see the hypocrisy. So here's my solution to this. Okay, problem is you want to know what your kids are up to. Well, unless you have good reason to not trust them, you should trust them. Choose to trust them. Because here's what I've learned about teenagers. If I choose to trust them, they're much more likely to act in a way that's trustworthy. They can't be in your supervision all the time. They will be out of your supervision. They're going to go off with friends, they're going to go to school, they're going to go to work, they're going to go whatever. They're not going to be in your supervision. You want them to make good decisions when they're outside of your supervision, just like I do. I want them to make good decisions when they're out in the world, because they're going to get out there. We can't stop them from doing that. We instead need to equip them better for what is out there, right? So if we treat them a certain way, they're more or less likely to make good decisions when they're outside of our supervision. If we treat them like they're trustworthy, they're more likely to be trustworthy. If we treat them like they're conniving and untrustworthy, they're more likely to act that way. You actually create that. If you treat your teenager like you can't trust them, they're going to act in a way that's not trustworthy. I promise. Choose to trust them. Don't look through their phone. Choose to trust them. With the exception that sometimes you need to. Sometimes they are in harm's way. Sometimes there are situations where you absolutely need to be in the loop. It is your job to protect your kids. And so there are certain situations where you will need to look through their phone. But until that situation arises, don't do it. Don't do it. And if you do, tell them and give a reason why. And I just need to know what you're doing is not good a reason. I'm sorry, it's not. They're not going to trust you if you do that. So what do you stand to gain? Not much. What do you stand to lose? A lot. You stand to lose a lot. So here's my counter. Okay.
there's much more effective ways to solve problems and issues. We basically have a one-size-fits-all approach that I'm treating my kid like they're doing something I don't want them to do, and so that gives me the right to violate their trust. It's not working, folks. It's not. I'm watching the mental health of our kids just plummet, just going down the tubes big time. Mutual respect is important to me. You must do this with your kids. If you expect them to be honest and trustworthy, if you expect them to tell the truth and be honest, you must do it first. If they perceive that you're a hypocrite, that you expect something from them that you don't do, you've lost them. They're not going to trust you. They're just going to look at you like you're a hypocrite. So trust, respect, those are the two most important things. If I give them to kids first, I'm more likely to get it back. I have to set the tone, but I can't expect trust and respect from them if I don't demonstrate it first, if I don't give it first. My other thing, yeah, there's mutual respect and there's effective problem solving. There are much better ways to handle issues rather than just punishing, restricting, and controlling. My other point is actually all four of my areas: effective communication, appropriate involvement, mutual respect, and effective problem solving all apply to the situation. Mutual respect. If you expect them to trust you, you must trust them first. Effective problem solving, there are other ways to deal with issues than just punishing and restricting. Effective communication, hey, I need to look through your phone. I'm worried about you. I'm worried about this issue. And don't just do it without their permission. And effective and appropriate involvement is don't look through their phone unless you have a really good reason. Okay, so that's going to do it for me for this video. I got a client soon and I like to keep these things close to 10 minutes. If you would like to support the Resiliency Alliance, which is my nonprofit organization for fighting teen suicide, you can check out some of the links below. I am going to be working hard to bring resiliency type programs to our public schools here and developing the curriculum. I could use any and all support. You can also support me on Patreon. I gotta go. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you.